Tourism is a big part of Canada's economy. In fact, in 2018, Canada had over 21 million tourists. But how does this affect the place that tourists are coming to, and how does this affect the tourists themselves? My class went to Alberta to find out and learn about how place impacts a certain group of people, and I was amazed at how many ways place affected tourists and tourism, and how tourists affected those places as well. Take the Columbia ice fields for example. Since 1917, the Athabasca Glacier has receded over 1.5 kilometers. This makes it more difficult for tourists to get to the glacier, and it costs more to go there because of how far it is from the main building.
I think it's about $130. The reason it costs so much is because of all the different expenses that go into actually putting the buses out there, because I guess the buses themselves are really expensive, and then you got to look into the fuel into that as well, and then all of us that live out here, we also have all the electricity, food and water that needs to be supplied for that.
But tourists can affect the place just as much. If tourists could respect the land, it can be maintained and preserved better for future generations.
As long as they, respect and care for the land and know the history behind this place.
Do you think the land has been respected by all the tourists that have been here?
Oh, definitely, yes. As long, as there's no littering or fires.
Sometimes the land has been used by, or is still being used by other people, and tourists should respect that and be respectful to the area.
A little bit of history behind this place for, since the creation of time, since we've been here, all tribes and nations have come here to practice their, sacred ceremonies, their culture.
Tourism has been affecting the areas they go to, but these places also affect the people and change their perspective on the world.
I find that some people came here as a kid 30 years ago and really enjoyed it, so they brought their new family and kids here too.
Yeah, we do see that. Not as often as just first-time tourists. We do have a lot of people who've been here 30, 40 years ago and talk to us about how much it's changed and what they've seen. Even people who used to work at this site long ago in the 80s, they'll come through and bring their families and show them that.
But I think that tourists need to start helping in maintaining these places for the next generation.
I think one of the best ways to help maintaining it is if everyone one of the biggest things we find out here is that people, they come, they take their photos and then they just leave. They don't really take too much time to appreciate all the different, how beautiful this area really is, and how that unfortunately it's not going to be here forever, especially with the glaciers. They are receding eventually. In about 80 years time they won't be here at all anymore, and as well as that, with the trees down there, we've got the mountain pine beetle infestation coming in, so I feel like a lot more people, if they have the opportunity to learn about it, could be a lot more wise and could help influence decisions made in the future.
The Athabasca Glacier has already been receding, but if tourists don't respect and help maintain these beautiful places, then soon they won't look so beautiful. This change will even affect how many tourists come, if they even come at all. If place affects who these tourists are, and if tourists don't affect the place back in a positive way, then soon those places won't be there. If tourists don't help protect and preserve these places, then that place may not be there for the next generation. Whatever tourists do today affects the tourists of tomorrow.